Imagine sitting quietly in the driver's seat, eyes on the road, mind on traffic, when suddenly, a conversation unfolding just feet behind you makes your stomach tighten. You weren't meant to hear it. You definitely weren't meant to remember it. And yet, years later, it ends up inside a courtroom. That's exactly the situation now capturing public attention after court documents revealed that Blake Lively's former driver allegedly recalled hearing a disturbing exchange between the actress and Justin Baldoni. In a legal drama already layered with accusations, denials, and deeply divided public opinion, this unexpected witness has added a new twist that's impossible to ignore. Is this the missing puzzle piece? Or just another fragment in an already chaotic legal storm? Let's unpack what this revelation means, why it matters, and why so many people can't stop talking about it. Drivers are invisible by design. They don't ask questions. They don't make eye contact. They don't interrupt. They exist in the background of celebrity life, present for everything, acknowledged for nothing. Which is precisely why this detail from the court filings has landed with such impact. According to the documents, Blake Lively's driver allegedly overheard a conversation between Lively and Justin Baldoni that he later described as disturbing. The driver wasn't a participant. He wasn't involved in any disagreement. He was simply there, listening unintentionally, absorbing the tone, the words, and the tension in the air. And sometimes, those unintended witnesses are the most compelling of all. But what makes a conversation disturbing? The words themselves? The emotional weight? The power dynamics? The silence that followed? From leaked emails to text messages taken out of context, the public has seen it all. So, why does this specific allegation feel different? Because it doesn't come from either party. It comes from someone with no obvious stake in the outcome. Drivers, assistants, and staff often occupy a unique position in legal disputes. They're close enough to observe real behavior, but distant enough to avoid direct involvement. In courtrooms, that matters. According to the filings, the driver's recollection wasn't framed as gossip or speculation, but as an observed interaction, one that left a lasting impression long after the ride ended. If a brief conversation was memorable enough to be recalled years later, what kind of emotional impact did it have in the moment? That curiosity is exactly why this detail has become such a focal point in the ongoing legal battle. The lawsuit involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has unfolded like a slow-burning thriller. Each filing introduces new claims. Each response sparks new debates. And with every update, public opinion splinters further. Some observers believe the case reflects deeper issues around power, communication, and workplace boundaries in Hollywood. Others see it as an example of how private interactions can be reframed once they enter the legal system. The alleged driver testimony doesn't exist in isolation. It adds to a broader narrative that attorneys on both sides are carefully constructing. And here's the thing about legal documents. They're not written for drama, but drama often finds them anyway. One of the most fascinating aspects of this revelation is that the driver reportedly recalled the tone of the conversation, not just its content. That's important, because tone is often where meaning truly lives. You can say something harmless with a threatening tone. You can say something harsh with calm detachment. And sometimes, it's not the words that disturb us, it's how they land. Psychologists often point out that humans remember emotional energy more vividly than exact phrasing. That may explain why this conversation allegedly stayed with the driver long enough to later be documented. And third-party witnesses, especially those without personal relationships to the accused, often carry a different kind of weight. They aren't defending themselves. They aren't protecting a reputation. They're simply reporting what they perceived. That doesn't make them automatically right, but it does make them harder to dismiss. Legal analysts often point out that independent recollections can either reinforce or complicate existing testimony. In this case, the driver's alleged account adds texture to claims already under scrutiny. And texture matters. It fills in emotional gaps that legal language alone can't always capture. If history tells us anything, it's this. Legal dramas rarely reveal their biggest twists all at once. Court filings continue. Testimonies evolve. New perspectives emerge. The driver's alleged recollection may end up being pivotal, or it may become just one of many threads woven into a much larger legal tapestry. This case has moved beyond legal arguments and into a broader conversation about accountability, perception, and the unseen witnesses in powerful spaces. And that conversation isn't ending anytime soon. Do you believe third-party witnesses like drivers should carry significant weight in legal cases? Have you ever overheard a conversation that changed how you saw a situation or a person? Share your thoughts, join the discussion, and keep the conversation going. Because sometimes the quietest voices end up saying the most.